And all you're doing with your life is you're waiting for the right fucking time, and there's no such thing as the right time. You just gotta do your shit. Put in the work. Take action. Take the first step. Make the move. Do something. There's never a right time, but it's always a good time to start something. Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Over Pleasure. And I'm your host, Alex Payne. And today we're going to have an interesting episode because recently I had to give a presentation, a speech to a group of men. It was a lot of successful men in that group. So what I did for that specific presentation is I wrote things that I consider of value to share with other men to help them in their lives and overall to impact their lives for the better. So what I did is I took most of the keynotes from that presentation and I'm going to talk about them on this episode. And this episode is going to be dedicated to the things not to do as a man if you want to succeed in life. All right, let's jump right into this. Thing number one that I tell all the men all the time, no matter what circumstances they're going through, no matter what age they are in their lives, this is what I tell them. Do not be weak. And do not be weak, I mean physically. Let's be honest with each other, right? As men in our lives, we have to be doing things that are physically draining, okay? Men are in a lot of fields out there, in life, a lot of professions that require physical labor. Those occupations are predominantly occupied by men. Not only that, personal fitness is extremely important. Hitting the gym, staying in shape, being able to take care of your own body, involving in some kind of martial arts, whether it's boxing, jiu-jitsu, grappling, wrestling, or whatever it is that you're into, right? You got to be able to have a certain level of fitness if you want to be overall safe and adequate in life. The problems arise in your life when you allow yourself to be obese, overweight, out of shape, have a belly, have man boobs, not able to even run for, I don't know, half a mile, a quarter of a mile. That's when you have real issues. Therefore, fitness should be an important part of your life as a man. For me, fitness is extremely important. Not only it is a way of me become stronger, it is also a mental game because I put my body physically through adversity so that I can let my brain focus. By purposely putting my body through adversity, through physical challenges, pushing it to its limits, I then am able to relax my brain and feel better and more confident because I knew that I already took that hard, challenging part of my everyday life out of the way. When you do that, that gives you a certain level of confidence, certain level of competence, and just overall, you feel great about yourself. Not to mention that you should be physically fit because there may come a day where you have to save your own ass. All right? You have to be able to save yourself. You have to be able to save people around you. Let's say you find yourself under certain circumstances where you're now hanging off the ledge and you need to pick yourself back up. What are you going to do if you can't pick yourself back up? They call the push-up the king of exercises for a reason. I'm sorry, not a push-up, a pull-up. Pull-ups are the kings of exercises. And a lot of men don't like pull-ups. A lot of men can't do pull-ups. I'm going to be honest, I struggle with pull-ups because I'm a taller stature person. I have long reach. So for me, pull-ups are a little more challenging than for a person who's shorter than me, for example, and has a shorter arms reach. However, that doesn't stop me from doing them. I still do them every week. I still try to get more and more. I still practice to become better at that because for me it's important. Because if I'm ever found in a situation where I have to pull myself back up from the ledge, you better be sure that I can do that with confidence. And I want the same for you guys. I want you guys to be able to pull yourself back up from the ledge if necessary. Or pull your loved one or save somebody else's life by yanking him out of the car or out of the water. Basically, you need to have a certain level of fitness if you want to be confident in life. Which brings me up to the next point, confidence, right? People who are fit, people who have developed their bodies, people who have invested into fitness and physical state and getting in shape, they're confident. They're confident because they put in months and years of discipline, of consistency, of hard work, and their bodies are a result of their hard work and discipline. That, by default, like it or not, will give you confidence. And when you're confident, you're more competent. When you're more competent, you're able to do bigger and better things, make bigger and more riskier decisions and necessary decisions. But you're not going to get there if you don't have a certain level of confidence in you. And last but not least, if you work out consistently, you're going to learn a very, very important thing in your life. It's called discipline. Discipline is what rules everything. Discipline is freedom. Nothing in life that you want to do will ever reach the level of success that you want it to reach if you are not disciplined. Because motivation is temporary. Motivation will come and go, but it's the discipline that will move you forward. Majority of the days this year or any year are cold, are rainy. Sometimes it's not the weather, but sometimes it's your emotional, mental, and spiritual state. Some days are just shitty and you're not motivated. Maybe the opposite. You're absolutely unmotivated and you don't want to go to the gym, but it's the discipline that picks your ass off that couch, takes you to the gym, and makes you put in work. All right? It's not motivation. Motivation is only there on the good days. And let's be honest with each other. A lot of times we're just not motivated. But what makes you a man, what makes you successful in life, what develops confidence in you, what pushes you forward, what moves the needle, is you being disciplined and not being a lazy motherfucker who sits on the couch, who watches porn, who eats garbage food, who binge watches TV, who plays video games. That shit is not going to work out in your favor. I fucking promise you. So, to wrap up this first point, fitness is extremely important and it bleeds into all areas of your life. Now, move on to the next one. Next one is, for the love of God, guys, please do not be a nice guy. I cannot stress this point of view. Do not be a nice guy. Too many men out there nowadays are nice guys. And let me explain you the difference between a nice guy and a confident man. Now, a confident man has no problem saying no to people. Okay? A confident man is confident in himself, is confident in his abilities, knows his schedule, his discipline. He is not afraid to tell somebody no if that is not a list of his priorities, if that doesn't move the needle for him. So he'll say no if he has to. I say no on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. If I need to be up at 4 in the morning, which I pretty much am every day, either 4 or 5 a.m., unless it's a day where I need to get proper rest because I've, been awake for like 18 or 24 hours. But for the most part, I wake up way before the sun is up and way before majority of the population are up. Because I have to. Because I have certain priorities. And if something the night before doesn't fit my priorities, if somebody invites me to go to a party or dinner or something, but I know it's going to be a type of event that's going to go further into the night and I have to be up early in the morning, I had to hit the gym, I had to take care of business, I'm sorry, I love you, I'll try to catch up to you the other time, but it's a no. So there's no problem saying no. Nice guys have a fucking problem saying no to people, especially women. That's why it's so easy to manipulate them. That's why women sometimes purposely go out of their way to teach nice guys lessons because it's easy. And believe me, women despise nice guys. They might like you in the beginning. They might hang out with you. But deep inside, after some time, over time, they'll start resenting you. I mean, I'm sure there's almost every guy out there who had a relationship with more than one woman has experienced that in their life. I have experienced that in my life. Personally, because you have to understand, women think different than men. Women like to test you. They like to test your patience. They like to test your physical strength. They like to test your spirit. They like to test your dreams. They even will test your discipline and your routines. I guarantee you that. It is in their nature. And they have to test you to make sure you possess a certain qualities to be able to be a provider and a protector and take care of her and her children and a house and whatever else and whoever needs you to take care of. So that's a part of who they are. And if you're the type of motherfucker who can't say no to people, who's weak, who's not disciplined, who's lazy, yeah, over time, she's going to resent your ass more and more. So, don't be a nice guy. Don't let people walk all over you. Stand your ground. If you believe in something, stand your ground. That doesn't mean you got to go argue with people with foam coming out of your mouth, but you have to be able to articulate and present your idea and explain yourself in a way where other people should be able to understand you. And if that person does not understand you or refuse to understand you, then you got to let it go. You don't have to continue to argue with that person, because then it's going to make you insane. Because definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. No, sometimes you got to know when to walk away. But you got to stand your ground. If you believe in something, believe in it. Mean it. Stand for it. Represent it. Be the example of it. Whatever it is, don't cave in if some other person is trying to put a little pressure on you. Women do that all the time. Your boss and supervisors do that all the time. Your friends, people around the world will always like to test other people. Especially men who are leaders. Leaders are constantly being tested by everyone around them. But that's what makes a leader. That's what defines a leader. So, stand your ground. Believe in what you want to believe in, and don't fall victim of having to be able to, or having to have to please everybody in your life. No, don't be a nice guy. Don't let women walk all over you, like I mentioned earlier, because they do that. It's in their nature. Sometimes they don't even notice it. I'll give you an example. I had a relationship with one of my girlfriends, and I remember we got into an argument one time, and she was just being a bitch about something. I don't remember what. And I'm talking to her, and I can't figure it out. And, like, you know what? You probably just need to have some sex. Like, you need to be straightened out. You need to get some action, and they'll probably fix your head. And to my own surprise, she's like, yes, that's exactly what I need. She stopped arguing right there and right then, and nothing else mattered. So, I planned my day accordingly, wanted to take care of business, but then it hit me. She went through all that trouble of irritating me, pissing me off, starting arguments over something that's so unimportant, but all she wanted is some sex, right? But she tested me in my patience and maybe even my logic for me to finally understand that that's what she wants, instead of directly telling me that. Now, that's a whole another episode I can be dedicated to the subject of communication. But I want you to understand that she continued to push my buttons until I finally figure out what she wants. Okay? So, if you're the type of guy who doesn't understand what a woman's trying to tell you, if you're the type of guy who always wants to please his woman, and if you think that saying yes to everything she wants is going to make her respect you, boy, you're wrong. You are setting yourself up for a failure. I guarantee you that. So stop letting other women walk all over you or demand things. Both people in any relationship have to put in a significant amount of work for this relationship to work. Next point is, do not try to please everyone. I want to use that point to wrap up the fact that you shouldn't be a nice guy. Don't try to please everyone. You are never going to be able to please everyone around you. You have to understand that you have your parents, your siblings, your friends, your spouses, your co-workers, your supervisors, your children, etc., etc., etc. You try to please everyone, but at the end of the day, you're just going to feel fucking miserable. I guarantee you that. I've done that. I've tried it and it sucked. So at this point in my life, I make sure to invest and take care of myself, my physical state, my mental state, my emotional state, my spiritual state, and everything around it. And then that makes me a better person. Then that gives me certain abilities in life. That gives me peace of mind. That allows me to work harder. And when I do all that, I'm able to take care of people around me who I love. And by doing so, that makes me happy that they're happy and taken care of. And I'm able to help somebody. But I don't try to please everyone. I take care of myself and the ones who matter in my life. And that's it. And if I have more time and more resources and more abilities, then I try to provide for even more people. But that's the point of life. As a human being, it's our job to make ourselves the best possible version and then give that version to the world. Help other people. I've had plenty of mentors. To this day, I still have mentors that have helped shape me and brought value into my life and taught me things. And now I try to give back. I'm sitting here and communicating with you guys and trying to provide you with some advice about the things that I've learned in my life throughout countless mistakes that I've made, and I still make, and I will make because I'm a human being. But that's my way of giving back to you guys. Speaking of which, if you guys like anything, if you find value in anything I say, please like the video, hit subscribe, and share, help my channel grow. And I'm thankful to you guys for being part of this growth in my personal journey. So smash like, smash subscribe, and let's move forward. Thing number 3, the key point number 3 is do not be afraid to take risks. Now, this is a tricky one because this one is directly correlated to what I was talking about in the beginning about confidence. You have to develop a certain level of confidence if you want to be able to take risks in life. Only when you do the hard things in life, which then in return give you confidence, then you're able to take risk in life, and you're able to take on more and more challenging things. You're no longer going to be afraid. You're going to be able to make more, difficult decisions in life. So yeah, don't be afraid to take risks. You got to first develop the confidence. And then a simple, very basic practice of how to develop confidence is this. And you fellas are going to like it. Approach women and try to talk to them. I promise you guys, if you make it a challenge for yourself to, whenever you're out there, whenever you go out, or whenever you see a girl that you like, take a first step, approach that woman, and talk to her. Yes, she might say no. Yes, she might brush you off. Yes, she might ignore you. Yes, she might tell you she has a boyfriend. But who cares? The worst possible thing she can tell you is no. Assuming you're going to ask her to get her number, or if you want to take her out on a date. Not something weird and fucking perverted. I'm not talking about that kind of shit. I'm talking about, for example, if you see a girl, you like her, you want to get her number, right? Or her Instagram handle. Approach her and talk to her. It doesn't even matter what you want to talk to her about. Just start talking. Obviously, don't be making nasty, stupid comments. But don't sit there for 30 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck you want to talk to her about. And by then, she's already done working out and she's gone. Okay? Just figure something out. Pick up something, learn something before, or notice something about her. I mean, like I said in one of my previous episodes, compliment the woman. Women love compliments. Compliments are easy. There must be a reason why she attracted you. Something about her got your attention. Compliment on that thing. And then next question, and one after the other. Next thing you know, you have her number. Next thing you know, you guys go on a date, and whatever happens after that. But don't be afraid to approach women and talk to them. All right? And you also have to remember, whether it's in business, with women, whatever you do in life, high risk equals high reward. What I mean by that is that if you're able to take higher risks, whether it's in business, whether it's in life, whether you want to give it a shot when you saw this model chick somewhere, there is a possibility that you will succeed. And when you succeed, the reward is great. If you quit, however, there's absolutely fucking zero chance that you're going to succeed. But if you don't quit, if you just continue to do it, if you do it again and again and again, and you might fail and fail and fail and fail and fail until you finally win, the reward you get after that is worth it. I promise you. Nothing that's worth it is ever easy, because if you're looking for an easy way out, you're just going to get a small reward and you're going to be disappointed in yourself. But if you really want to develop a certain level of respect, certain level of confidence in yourself, take those risks. If you fail, you fail. But there's a chance you might succeed. And it'll be awesome. All right, moving on to the next one. Next one is, do not be financially illiterate. Fellas, I can't stress it to you how important it is to be somewhat financially savvy in life. Please don't do what I did and learn the hard way. I mean, I've been broke before in my life. I literally have been at a point in my life where one time I had to have one of my girlfriends at the time pay for dinner. That was fucking embarrassing. And right there, right then, I told myself that I will never, ever in my life allow myself to get to that point ever again. Ever. That was a great learning lesson. And they say the best lessons in life are an empty stomach, an empty pocket, and a broken heart. Okay? I definitely had an empty stomach. I've definitely had an empty pocket. And I had a broken heart more than once. Those three teach you the greatest lessons in life. So, yes, first and foremost, make more than you spend. Learn how to live frugal. You might have to learn and be able to survive on a budget for a long period of time until you start making the amount of money that you want to make and be able to afford things. You have to be able to budget. You have to be able to know the basics of how to spend and make money. If you're trading your time for money, that's fine. If you have a 9 to 5, that's fine. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're buying shit just to impress other people, just to fit in somewhere, if you're buying shit that's unnecessary, if you're spending a lot of money on food, on takeout, on deliveries, if you're racking up your credit cards, if you have a lot more in debt than you have in your savings account, unless you're a businessman, okay, if you're just an average person working 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, and you're racking up your debt instead of spending money, you are being a fool. Learn how to make more money and spend less. Also, learn how to save money. Dedicate your direct deposits, for example, a certain amount of money to go to a different account and automatically go into a savings account. Put that money aside from every paycheck and forget about it. Over time, it's going to start piling up. Invest in S&P 500 and 401k and 457, defer comp, life insurance. There are so many things. Which brings me to another point is learn how to invest. You can invest into stocks. Okay, you can invest into crypto. You can invest into real estate. I've tried all three. Now I'm focused more on real estate. Yes, it requires more funds, but I am also very interested in real estate. I am fascinated by it. I love it, and I think it's a great way to invest money. But I also have my hands and my funds tapped into different categories that I mentioned earlier. So learn how to invest. Instead of spending time sitting on the couch, eating junk food, watching fucking TV series, playing video games, watch and learn how to invest money, how money works, how stock market works, how S&P 500 works, how life insurance works, how deferred comp works, how pensions work, and basically just utilize that time to learn more about money. There's so many great books out there you can learn from. The Psychology of Money is one of them. I think it's a great book. Watch people, learn from people like Robert Kiyosaki, for example. He'll tell you the difference between being broke or rich, poor and rich. So invest in yourself. Learn these things. Moving on to the next point. The next point is do not be mentally weak. This one possibly might be even more important than the first one, which was don't be physically weak. You have to be able to take the punches in life. And by punches in life, I don't mean necessarily physical punches. I'm talking about the punches that life throws your way, such as people passing, people dying, you losing your business, you losing your loved ones, house burning, you getting injured, you get into an accident. Like at any given point in life, and this is what I learned, because I've seen people die, I've seen death, and it's unfortunate. And what that made me realize is that tomorrow is never guaranteed. At any given time in life, you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and your life can end. Once I really saw that multiple times, and I really understood the concept that tomorrow is never guaranteed, only death is guaranteed. That's when I really started reconsidering wasting my time on stupid shit. That's when I was really reconsidered wasting my time, because time is precious. That's all we have. That's the only commodity that we really possess in life is time. Everyone only has a certain amount of time on this planet, but we think we're so fucking special. We're not. We're not. The only thing we have on this planet is some time in between entering and exiting. Now, I entered this time frame, this world 34 years ago, 35 soon. And I spent a lot of years wasting my time but I've also accomplished a lot. Had I had the same mindset in my 20s, I would have been way further in life than I am right now. But all the circumstances, all the trauma, all the downsides, all the buttons that I've experienced, all the losses, all the pain that I've experienced in my life, along with all the great times that I've experienced, is what made me the person that I am today. So I don't look back. I don't regret anything. I know that I am the way I am today, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, is because I've made mistakes in life. It's because I've had traumatic experiences. It's because I've had a fair share of pain in my life. However, what makes me different personally is the fact that when I went through my traumatic experiences, when I have things that are really dark, the times that are really dark in my life, the first thing I do is I let those times sink in, and then I choose to persevere. Because you can't control what happens to you, but you can control what you're going to do after that happens to you. If something horrible happens to you, you have two options. Option number one, you can be the victim for the rest of your life. You can continuously cry about it. You can continuously be emotional about it, affected by it, and allow it to consume you. Or option number two, you can choose to overcome that trauma. You can choose to find a way how to deal with it. You can choose how to make yourself stronger. You can choose how to be a better person after you went through that trauma. I always chose the second one. And that's what made me the person that I am today. And that's what got me where I'm at in life. And I am blessed. I am blessed today to be able to sit here and talk to you guys, to be able to afford myself a studio that I built, a video set that I created, to be able to afford a videographer, and just to be able to be here today in the greatest country in the world to do this, to communicate with all you guys. I am blessed, and I count my blessings every single day. Every single day when I wake up, I say my gratitudes and my affirmations. I always count my blessings because that's the state I choose to be in, because I always chose not to be a victim, but to be a winner. Fuck everything that happens to you in life. You don't get to choose the family you're born into. Sometimes you don't even get to choose the people around you because you just live in a very disadvantageous a place that's, pretty messed up, somewhere where there's a lot of gangs and poverty and struggle and trauma. I'm sorry if that ever happens to you, but you have an option ultimately to be able to overcome that and get yourself out of that place. If you really want to, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want in life. I have seen people hit rock bottoms lower than I've ever hit, bottoms so low that I even wonder how will they get out of there. And those people persevered. They did not allow themselves to be victims. They've struggled. They put in the work. They fought hard. And now they deserve to be where they are. They deserve the things that they have, and they deserve all the blessings they have in their lives. And I'm happy for them. But I learned that shit can happen to you. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people die by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is unfortunate. You have to understand that. The only fucking thing we have in this life is a little bit of time. And unfortunately, we don't understand that in the first 10, 20, sometimes even 30 years in our lives. Some of you motherfuckers understand in your 40s and 50s, and you're still doing dumb shit. It boggles my fucking mind. There's a lot of dudes out there who I personally talk to, who I have communicated and even coached and even, been friends with, who are even older than me, but yet they still do the same dumb shit they did 10 years ago. And they're still in the same fucking place in life as they were 10 years ago. Those are the energy drainers in life. And unless they change their mentality, unless they choose not to be victims, unless they choose to work on themselves, unless they choose to invest in themselves, nothing in their lives will change. Don't let the trauma that you had influence you. You have to be able to be mentally strong to overcome the trauma, or at the very least, be mentally strong enough to have the balls to seek the solution to the problem. It's okay to talk to a therapist. It's okay to read books. It's okay to watch videos. It's okay to ask questions. Don't be that lonely motherfucker who not only understands, who doesn't understand how to help himself, but is also stubborn enough not to ever ask for fucking help. That's the problem, a lot of dudes. I've been there. But when I realized that no, when you're a lonely island, when you try to be in solitude, you're only going to harm yourself. Yes, you can build great amount of discipline and mental strength by being with yourself and by yourself. But I'm talking about when you have resources around you but you're too fucking weak to ask for help. That's a problem. That's not strength. You're not being smart. And a lot of guys out there, they're taught, they come from single family, mother only households where they're told, you know, sometimes by women that men don't cry. Or they come from the households where their fathers were hard ass motherfuckers and tell them men don't cry. Men don't talk about their emotions. Well, bullshit. I tell you that right now. Bullshit. Okay? Some of the greatest things that I've done in my life for myself and to myself is going through some therapy. Now, I'm not telling you guys to go to therapy for years at a time and then do stupid shit like, you know, what's that? That interview that I was watching recently with Prince Harry, I believe, where he had some kind of moment where he was just talking about how he deals with stress in his life by tapping his shoulders and breathing. Like, what kind of bullshit is that, man? Seriously. First of all, I've never been to any therapy session where my therapist taught me how to tap my fucking shoulders and breathe. You know, that's some bullshit. No, the good therapist will, first of all, just listen to you until you're done talking and then ask very specific, particular questions to understand the root of the problem or how it affected you so you can work on it. I mean, if you need to do this breathing technique, if you have some kind of, I don't know, anxiety, which I don't believe is real, for example, or whatever it is that you're going through and this breathing and tapping your shoulders helps you, fine. But do it behind closed doors or just do it and get it out of your way. But don't allow yourself to become the type of person where you need to do that every 5 seconds. Learn how to control your emotions. Learn how to have your emotions under control and how to find the right outlet to be able to vent through it, whether it's a person or some kind of hobby or whatever it is. And the second part of being mentally strong is vices. Stop allowing your vices take control of you. A lot of you guys out there, and I've been there myself, have a lot of vices, and some of them you don't even know about. I'm telling you right now, for the longest time, I had no idea that porn was my vice. Women have been my vice for a long time. I'm a strong, healthy, masculine, heterosexual man. I've developed a certain level of success in life. I've had, and I still have attention from women, but I am now in a relationship. But before, whenever I was single, you know, I've spent my time with women and around women. And I've enjoyed it, and I had no complaints about it. However, what I have learned is that porn was actually my vice, and it was actually causing a lot of BS. Not a lot, but causing certain things in my life, primarily here in my mental state. And I realized that because just like all of us guys, when we discover porn, we discover these things, you know, everyone does it. But I watched porn when I was single. I've watched porn when I was in a relationship. And my excuse was always, well, you know, if I'm single, I'm single. I don't have access to women all the time. If I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. I don't cheat. I'm only with the same woman. So whatever, a little porn doesn't hurt nobody. And then I also went through a very confident, very fun, and I'm saying fun just so you guys believe that my following point, stage in life where I've had access to multiple women, sometimes 3-4 women in the same week. So I really did not have a need to watch porn, but I still did it. And that's when it fucking hit me, is that this shit is a vice. This is an addiction. This is something that my subconscious mind now chooses to do because it finds it entertaining, because it's instant pleasure. But that instant pleasure never provided me with any value. So I was watching porn when I was single, I was watching porn when I had a girlfriend, I was watching porn when I had multiple women in my life, and I still watched porn. So no, an excuse of watching porn when you're single or you have one girlfriend no longer existed. I had access to multiple women at the same time. I didn't need to watch porn, but I still did it. And that's when I realized this shit is bad for me. This instant gratification is bad for my mental state. And also, it teaches you nothing. It drains you. It takes away your life force. It creates certain expectations that are not real. Because you have to understand, when we watch porn, in porn is not the things that majority people do. And you're constantly trying to stimulate your brain by watching harder and more visual and more better, interesting, entertaining things. But that's not how real life is. You have to understand that. So if you combine porn with the fact that you're not fucking confident enough to go talk to a woman, to even ask her for her number, now all you do at home is you jerking off and you just wasting time watching TV shows and playing video games, not doing shit with your life, then yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. You gotta get off your ass. You gotta start working out. You gotta invest in yourself. You gotta stop watching porn. You gotta quit all your vices. Like, porn was my only one vice, even though I came from a family of multiple alcoholics. My dad was an alcoholic. My mom was always afraid that I may become an alcoholic. My brother abused alcohol. My uncles abused alcohol. That's very common in my culture too. Alcoholism is very common in my culture. But even though I have a bar and I've been collecting high-end spirits for a long time, I barely even touch them now. I'm at a stage of my life where I don't give a shit about alcohol. Like, I have bought some certain bottles that cost a lot of money that I've had a hard time locating. Now I'm like, why? I'm so over it. And, some of you guys have gambling habits. Some of you guys have played video games too much. Some of you guys just stare at TV at a fucking box for, 10, 12 hours at a time. Some of you just can't stop eating and overeating. Those are the vices. But you have to be able to be mentally strong to be able to overcome these vices. When you're mentally weak, that's when you're always complaining you're a victim of your trauma. And you're always a victim of your vices. So control them. Figure out ways. Reach out. If you guys are having a hard time and want to know about how to quit porn, hit me up. Send me a message or an email. I'll tell you what I know, and I'll tell you what I've done. And if hopefully that helps. I'm here and I'm happy to help. Don't be shy, but ask. Man, don't be fucking stubborn. Ask other men for help. A man who's good and hard, who has good moral standards and values and respects himself and really has a good heart is never going to turn you down. I've never turned anybody down in my life because I've never been turned down by my mentors and people I learned from. I will never allow myself to turn somebody down. Like, I'm here to help. I want to help because I've been helped by other men. But what I always did is I asked questions. I reached out. I asked for help. I have no problem doing that. So start with that. Ask other men for help. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? I hope a lot of you guys do that. And the last point that I want to talk about today is do not be a follower. This one is extremely important because today we live in a society where we are pumped with so much bullshit through media, through news, through social media, through everything around you, sometimes even radio or whatever. We're pumped with so much bullshit and negativity and fear and misinformation and distraction and instant gratification that we become followers. We buy into any kind of bullshit that we see on TV or hear or see on social media. We're not able to think for ourselves because since a very young age, the last generation, they are completely different because since a very, very young age, they stare at a little rectangle called phone. It's a phone, a tablet, a TV at home. They constantly stare at this little box. And that little box, whether it's in your hand or it's on your wall, has tremendous impact on you. I have a TV at home and it's been unplugged for now almost 10 months. Or like 8 months. I've unplugged it because I need to disconnect my Xbox, so I gave it away. Actually, no, what I did is I put it on one of my properties and connected with the internet and downloaded and bought some games so that people who stay at my property have something to play on. The kids, entertainment purposes. I know maybe it's a little, but my point is, it's a form of entertainment, but I don't use it for myself. I put it to work to make money. That's a different story. But if you're spending hours every day playing video games or watching TV or looking at a little box in your hand and scrolling to social media, you're going to eventually become a follower. You need to learn how to be able to think perspicaciously. You need to be able to learn how to see through the bullshit. You need to be able to learn how to see patterns in the news, especially. You need to be able to see and differentiate an honest person from a dishonest person. Become a leader of yourself, first and foremost. And you don't become a leader of yourself unless you practice the previous 5 that I mentioned earlier, right? Don't be weak, physically weak. Don't be a nice guy. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be financially illiterate. Don't be mentally weak. Like, practice all of those. With all of those, you become a leader of yourself. When you're a leader of yourself, you're a leader of your household. When you're a leader of your household, you can go out there and be a leader of other people. If you own a company, if you own employees. But it all starts within you. Become confident in yourself. Become a leader. Hold yourself to the same standards and expectations. If you have expectations, hold yourself to the same ones. Then you become a leader by default. I think the best leaders don't always talk. I think the best leaders do the work and the followers follow them. And I give you guys a great example of that. My girlfriend, just today or yesterday, she told me something. She told me that I'm proud of you for being disciplined and consistent, especially when it comes to fitness. And by watching you, I realized that I need to be as disciplined, as consistent as you are. Now, if we backtrack a little bit, let's say to 9 months ago or 6 months ago, I decided to flip the switch, and instead of being the guy who always tells her to do stuff, I decided to support her, but be the leader of me and do my thing and hold myself to the same standards that I preach to others. So I wake up early, I eat clean, I have cheat days, of course, but I eat clean. I work out consistently. I'm disciplined. I take my supplements, right? And in 6 to 9 months, I developed the body that I developed, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I noticed that she started to do the same thing. She started to wake up early. She started to eat cleaner. She started to work out with me. She started to be more into fitness. She became more disciplined. So I noticed that. And then like a few months ago, and now finally, I think it was yesterday, she told me that. And I felt very proud and I felt very happy because my work, my decision, instead of being a drill sergeant, which a lot of times I am, but it's just my style of communication, but I decided with her to take a different approach. Instead of constantly trying to push, I decided to just take a step back and show. And she followed. And I saw that my actions benefited her life. And she acknowledged that. And that made me very happy. I'm very proud. I'm very happy for her. I'm proud of her. And I'm very grateful. So I think the best leaders show and lead by example. I can't possibly sit here, and I tell you this, guys, on every fucking episode. I can't possibly sit here and tell you guys, do this, don't do that, practice this, don't practice that, and not do this shit myself. I will be full of shit. Yes, I have my bad days. Yes, I have the days where my discipline is not 100%, but it's like 80% or 70%. But I am consistent. Over long term, I stay consistent and stay disciplined. Yes, I have a lot more work to do, but I learn every day. I put myself with my back against the wall with you guys because you guys are my accountability partners. I can't possibly allow myself to get fat, and then one of you viewers one day will see me somewhere like, oh, this motherfucker is fat. How dare he sit and tell me to be fit when he's walking around fat and overweight and depressed and stupid and being a follower? No, I can't do that because now I already told you guys that you shouldn't do that, and that I hold myself to other standards. So thank you for being my accountability partners. I appreciate that. That's what I do to myself. I choose to do the hard shit in life because when you do the hard shit in life, it makes your life easier. When you always choose to do easy shit in life, your life is going to be hard. I promise you that. How do I know? Because I fucking done it. I've done all that. I've watched porn, I've played video games, I've binge watched TV, I've ate shit food, I've never done anything challenging. There's periods of time in my life, even though over time I've still progressed, but there were dark periods of time in my life where I haven't done shit and I felt like a piece of shit. Now that I have purpose, now that I chose purpose over pleasure all day, every day, my life has changed. I'm a different person. I'm becoming a different person. I love that. You have to be able to love what you're becoming. My goal is to make the best possible version of myself and then give that person to all of you guys, to the world, to my family, to my loved ones, and to others out there. Because it's only fair that we help each other. Again and again, I tell you guys, I share this with you. I've been blessed to have great friends in my life, great mentors who taught me and are still teaching me and helping me move forward in life. So it's my duty to become the best person I can possibly be, the best version of myself, the best man that I can possibly be, because I'm a man. And the best part about being a man is that you get to fucking create yourself. So I choose to create the best possible version of myself. And my duty is to do that and then use that person, use that man to make the world a better place. That's what the fuck I want to do ultimately. And that's what I'm doing. As uncomfortable as it may be sometimes, as tired as I might be sometimes, as unmotivated as I might be sometimes, that's what I choose to do. That's what makes me happy. That's what moves me forward. That's what moves the needle forward. Ultimately, at the end of the day. And if I were to die tomorrow, hopefully not, I know that I at least tried. Yes, I'm in the very early stages of my podcasting career or whatever, but I took a step forward because there's never perfect time for anything. Most of us think that there's going to be a perfect time for something. I'm going to try this next month. I'm going to start this company next month. I'm going to do this next year. Like, no, fuck that. I've dragged creating this podcast. I've dragged starting my business. I've dragged learning how to, be charismatic and be a speaker for years. For years I've done that to me. And I finally got tired. I got fed up with this bullshit because I realized there is never the right time to do something. And all you're doing with your life is you're waiting for the right fucking time, and there's no such thing as the right time. You just got to do your shit. Put in the work. Take action. Take the first step. Make the move. Do something. There's never a right time, but it's always a good time to start something. Remember that. So like I said, to sum up this episode, right, we talked about the things not to do as a man. Do not do these following things. Do not be physically weak. Do not be a nice guy. Do not be afraid to take risks. Do not be financially illiterate. Do not be mentally weak. And do not be a follower. If you follow those, I promise you guys your life will change. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Send me an email. Send me a DM. Send me a message. I am here for you. Again, I'm grateful to you guys, to my viewers, for being a part of this personal journey. Please click like. Please subscribe. Please share my message with the other men. I am here to make men great again. See you guys next time.